Good afternoon and morning, race fans. We are catering to an entire audience across the country, in the East Coast and the West Coast. And for that matter of fact, since it's the internet, we're all around the world. Welcome to GarageCam Live on NASCAR.com. I am your host today, Matthew Strickert. A Matthew nonetheless, like Matt Dillner, just a different last name. We are here in beautiful Northern California, just outside of San Francisco, at the Sonoma Raceway, the first road course of the 2013 campaign for the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series. Be sure to check out the chat room to your right and get those comments and requests in. We'll fill as many as possible. And as always, thank you for taking time out of your busy days to join us here on GarageCam. As we come up to the number 87 car is first in line for us of front row Joe Nemechek. A pretty cool paint scheme on the side here, the Wolverine. I have a feeling there'll be a couple cars that look like the Wolverine will hit them by the time we're done here at Sonoma on Sunday. This track has been known for a lot of physical, and I need to make a correction. There has been a driver change, as you see right there in front of me. As we continue to move along here, this is actually a really cool paint scheme, the more you look at it. Internet probably doesn't do it a whole lot of justice, but when you're up close and personal with it, it looks pretty sweet. Up here next, the 32 car, Boris Said. The Said head has made his way out here to Sonoma. Let's go see if we can chat with Boris for a quick second. Follow him around as he puts his steering wheel back in the car. Well, we're a long way from Watkins Glen, New York, where all the other Said heads are, but one Said head has made it out here to Sonoma. How you doing, Boris?
Doing great. You know, just excited about getting into NASCAR again. It's been since Watkins Glen last year. So really excited about HendrickCars.com on board, you know, supporting an underdog team, and I just want to get out there and run.
You are very familiar with this course. Given these Gen 6 cars, how do you think the racing's going to change from the past? Are there more passing zones possibly here, or what can you kind of expect?
You know, I don't know yet. I've never driven one yet. You know, this will be my first time driving it, coming up for practice. But, you know, I mean, you can pass here. It's tough. You know, you got to be a little aggressive to do it. But it's always been exciting racing, and I don't see that changing.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Boris. Have a good practice, and have a good rest of the weekend, man. Big thanks to Boris Said for taking some time. And we're going to take some quick time right now. Scroll back up through my chat. I have so many comments in the chat room already that I have to do a lot of scrolling, which I absolutely love. I want to welcome MLB first into the chat room this afternoon. Clint Boyer fan. We will definitely make sure we get to them. Carol Hallett, you need to see the number 99. Well, we will make sure we get to Carl Edwards. Another one of those Ford drivers looking to continue Ford's winning streak. It's only one, but nevertheless, it was a big win for Ford. See who can get number 1001. Leah Bartlett, you want to know who I'm going to pick to win the race? Well, I honestly do not know yet. That is the exciting factor coming to Sonoma this weekend. As you look at Josh Wise, number 35, Gen 6 Ford. No one's been out here in a Gen 6 car yet. We haven't run a road course yet this year. No one really knows what to expect or who to expect as some of the favorites. For that simple fact, it should be very exciting to keep an eye on everything this weekend. And as always, make sure you check out NASCAR.com for the latest. Here's the number 83 of David Rudeman in his Burger King Toyota Camry, which is doing nothing but make me hungry. My body is on East Coast time, yet we're in the West Coast. Here you go, fans. Here's some other road ringers for you this weekend. The number 33 Canadian Tire Chevrolet, driven by Ron Fellows. Ron Fellows, obviously a couple wins in the Nationwide Series at various road courses. I believe most recently his last one was in Canada at Montreal for Junior Motorsports. Looking to get this 33 team a strong top 10, top 15 finish. That's the beauty of when you come out here to these road courses. You can bring in guys who are extremely skilled, and this is their skill set, to make things happen for you. According to Slice Smoke 14, we're going to trust you here. You believe this weekend at Sonoma has the most road course ringers attempting in quite a while. I would agree. Before we get to another road course ringer, though, here's the number 30 Toyota of David Stremme. Ivan, and I apologize if I mess up your name, Thackeray, said heads unite and shave immediately. Here we go. Here's another one of the road course ringers this weekend, the number 7 car of Justin Marks. And this GoPro scheme, this is pretty awesome. I don't know if they're going to be able to put GoPros on it per NASCAR's rules, but that would be some pretty good branding to have GoPros all over the GoPro car. Make our way around here. The wonderful David and David show here at Sonoma. David Gilliland and David Reagan. Listen to those cars go, fans. Nothing like a Friday morning, warming up the engines. It's a beautiful day. Get that smell of fuel and gasoline in the air. One of the few times that crew members are actually going to be able to drive behind the wheel for their drivers' cars. Gustavo 369753995. That is one heck of a username. You want to know where that Formula One guy is? I believe you're referring to Jacques Villeneuve. He is a little bit further down, but we will get to him. Before we go too far, though, this number 34 car driven by David Reagan, this is not going to be the only thing David Reagan has driven this week, because he teamed up along with his his hauler driver earlier this week and drove the trek all the way out here from Charlotte to Sonoma. Nevertheless, that is one long haul for a driver and one big 18-wheeler to have to drive. Here is the number 10 GoDaddy Chevrolet of Danica Patrick. Just for you fans this weekend on NASCAR.com and Race Buddy, we actually have a really, really cool camera angle for Danica Patrick. We are going to, and wait for it, have a foot cam inside the number 10 GoDaddy Chevrolet, showing you all of Danica's footwork on Sunday as she tackles the Sonoma Raceway for the first time in her Sprint Cup Series career. Now, Danica, she's no slouch on the road courses. She had very strong runs at Elkhart Lake in Road America earlier last year, as well as Montreal. And back in the number 47 this weekend is Bobby Labonte. Texas's Bobby Labonte. Kingsford on the back bumper. Look at this. Kingsford, get out and grill. There's nothing wrong with that. Can't complain about that in the summertime. It's a pretty good sponsor to have if you're a grilling person. Let's see. Kyle Ingerson, you were the one who wanted to give the road course ringer some love. You'd like to see the 32 and 33. Well, there you had it. And for anyone who's looking for some insurance, we're at the 13 of Casey Mears, driving the Geico Ford Fusion. Stephen Wright, I am from New Zealand and woke up at 6 a.m. to watch GarageCam, and there's one car you wanted to see. Well, there you go, Stephen. There it is, the number 9 Ford Fusion driven by Marcos Ambrose. Stanley and DeWalt on his machine today. You get a look inside of Marcus Ambrose's office. Helmet down there, getting ready to go. One of the heavy favorites to win out here this weekend and any time we go to a road course. Came close a few years ago. Fortunately, shut the engine off going uphill, which doesn't do very well when you want to keep momentum going. There's Juan Pablo Montoya talking to a couple crew guys, looking over the Ford, trying to figure out how he, who also has a strong road course skill set, is going to beat the number 9 of Marcus Ambrose. Juan, obviously a winner in 2010 at Watkins Glen. All right, we have arrived at that F1 driver's car. Here is the number 51 of Jacques Villeneuve driving this weekend. For James Fitch. And this car last year finished 3rd, even though it was busted up after hitting the tire barrier. There is no doubt that once again this car will be a favorite to potentially win here at Sonoma. Engua 15, Luis from the UK. Love to see the 15 of Clint Boyer. We will get to that as soon as we can. But here's Jamie McMurray, dressed in his Cessna black. It's kind of like Sunday Best with Cessna black, I guess. And I just got to chat, and I have to do this if Cam guy over here will follow me for a second. We got to go run into our friend Alex Jones here on GarageCam. I just got a comment that says we need to give a shout out to Alex Jones's mom. This is the 1-year anniversary of a funny little skit that one of our former bosses did, giving a shout out to her mom.
Hi, GarageCam.
Alex is one of the producers for these next 6 weeks that are going TNT All Access for you each and every week. Who do you have this week for the fans?
This week we're following the number 42 team, Juan Pablo Montoya. So definitely tune in, Countdown to Green on TNT, and we'll see you there.
All right, Alex Jones, we'll let her get back to work. Always thanks for her joining us. And there is the 42 of Juan Pablo Montoya. Giving it that last minute shine, wiping down that big Target logo. It's never a bad thing for sponsors to have. And as we roll back into the sunshine here for a minute, there is the number 1 of Jamie Murray in his Cessna Chevy for Earnhardt Ganassi Racing. Jamie was actually picked as a one to watch earlier this week on Fantasy Showdown as a potential winner. And here's another guy that was picked on Fantasy Showdown. The guy who drove his heart out last year in this race and one of the best efforts he's put out on a racetrack, the number 78 Denver Matra Chevy of Kurt Busch. Had a chance to win, drove his absolute heart out. He even got a standing ovation from the media in the media center for his effort. Inside the number 78 of Kurt Busch's office. And we're going to go from Kurt Busch and his current team over to another one of the rookies making their first ever start here at Sonoma Raceway. This car is white. It has yellow bumpers. But I have a feeling, given a rookie's first try here at Sonoma, there might not be a lot of white, and the bumpers probably will get beaten up with some black tire rubber and some fenders dinged up. Whatever happens, happens here at Sonoma. It's a 17 of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. And then over here, we have the Haas Automation Inc. 30th anniversary scheme for Rocket Man Ryan Newman. This is a pretty cool scheme. And actually, we can go down here and give you a little info. You see these openings here. This is specific for road courses. As much as you're bouncing around, going in and out, air to those brakes is so important because of how much you're using them. These cars are designed specifically in the front to make sure that there's airflow going in to fans that'll cool off those brakes as they go around this just over a 2-mile road course. On and off the brake, changing gears, up and downhill. This track has everything you could possibly imagine. And this scheme, this is just one cool looking scheme. M. Patrick 1818, can I please see the 18 M&M's Toyota of Rowdy Busch? You are not the only one who wants to see Rowdy. He is a little bit further down in the garage, but we are on our way there. See what else we can catch on our way down. We are just about halfway through Sprint Cup Series GarageCam. And I got to tell you, yesterday We were in San Francisco for a while when we landed. It's about 65 degrees, a nice breeze, keep you cool. As soon as you come over that hill and you get out here, it just becomes hot. And we have a driver sighting, fans. Here is over here, the number 24 of Jeff Gordon, signing some autographs for some fans. Needless to say, when Jeff Gordon comes home to Northern California, where he is from in Vallejo, the fans follow wherever he goes. It's got to be a humbling, but sometimes frustrating experience for them. So after we gave Jeff our little run through, we're going to go back and pick up where we left off here. And there's one guy this weekend that is doing more work than almost anybody in this garage, and that is Brian Vickers. Of course, the driver of the number 20 Toyota for Joe Gibbs Racing in the NASCAR Nationwide Series, which is racing at Road America in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin this weekend. Shout out to Matthew Dillner, who loves going to Road America. But here is also his number 55 Toyota Camry that he's going to race this week in Sonoma. So needless to say, whatever airline Brian Vickers chooses to fly, which we probably assume is private, but nevertheless, this doesn't help the joke, he's going to rack up some serious frequent flyer miles and more than likely have gold status, which means some first-class upgrades, 2 bags of peanuts, a couple Coca-Colas, insert sponsor there. Let's see what else we got going on in the chat room. Louis DiDonato, you said, can we please show my favorite driver, Jeff Gordon? Well, we saw Jeff Gordon walk by, and here is the other Jeff in the field, Jeff Burton, in the number 31. Speaking of Jeff Burton, there he goes by. Very different looking scheme for him this weekend. Driving the utility number 31. A lot of white schemes this weekend. And even a white fire suit for Jeff Burton, different from the black. But nevertheless, still looks pretty cool. And again, you have all these openings in the front, and some of them are taped off, a little bit different than others. And here is the number 11 FedEx Freight Toyota of Denny Hamlin. Denny, a guy who, no matter what kind of track we race at over the next few weeks, needs to figure out how to win in order to get into that top 20 in points and get some wins in order to make that chase for the Sprint Cup, which begins in mid-September. Some drivers are filtering in here. Some are still hanging out in their coaches. See how many we can get to. Lord Tool, is this your first time in GarageCam? Would like to see the 14 of Old Smoke. I can promise you we are going to get to the 14 of Tony Stewart. But here's another guy, the winningest all-time driver on road courses in NASCAR history, more than Richard Petty, more than Tony Stewart, the driver of the number 24, Jeff Gordon. This man reeled off 6 consecutive Sprint Cup Series victories on road courses from Watkins Glen in 1997 to 2000 here at Sears Point. And what do we have here to our right? We have Miss Sprint Cup Brooke. How are you, Brooke?
How's it going?
Good to see you.
How are you doing?
So here's what I'm wondering. You're in front of a 9-time road course winner.
Wait, sorry, what was that?
You're in front of a 9-time road course winner's car right now. Can you make it 10 this weekend?
Woo! You know, I met a lot of fans this weekend at the Sprint Unlimited experience, and they're telling me that he can.
Well, there you have it,
I
fans.
think they spoke.
If the fans speak and the fans vote, then democracy rules, I guess, right?
Exactly.
And that's how it should go.
Right now, the man himself.
Speaking of Jeff Gordon, here he comes again. This time, getting ready. That guy is a lot like Richard Petty looking. Jeff Gordon, the king of the road, which leads to a good segue of Throwback Thursday on NASCAR.com. We highlighted Jeff Gordon's 6 consecutive victories on road courses. Be sure to check it out, a unique look back. And here we go, the Farmland Ford. Passion for pork, and they're fueled by bacon. how much better do you want your sponsor to be? There's not much more you can ask for in life. The number 43 car of Eric Almirola. As we look here to our left, we got Joey Logano talking to TNT's Marty Snyder, getting ready to go on air on speed. Marty Snyder and Joey Logano live on GarageCam.
What's up?
This is always dangerous when Marty Snyder's around talking to people because you never know what the context of the conversation
J-Lo and I
is.
just talking.
I know.
We're just chatting before practice. This is called killing time.
There you go. Speaking of killing time, your free time, you follow hockey. So far, Stanley Cup final, tie 2-2. Go
Do they
Bruins.
play tonight? Is it tonight?
Tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night. I know they've been kind of doing every other night. So
Tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night.
So Joey Logano is going for the Bruins.
Staying up late, screaming at my TV the last few games.
Did you want the Heat to win or the Spurs?
I haven't been watching much basketball.
Oh, come on, J-Lo.
He knows where the sports are.
Hockey, man. Hockey and racing is all there is.
Hockey
Bruins are on it.
all there is.
They're going to win this thing.
See, now him and I have to just stay away from each other because I'm from Chicago and I've been screaming at my TV too. It's just been against everything they've
Right,
screamed.
Stricker's from Chicago. He is a Chicago guy. Stricker's a Chicago guy.
So now we kind of have a rivalry.
How they can score 6 goals one night and then the other night they don't score anything. You know,
exactly.
It's kind of crazy.
So what are your chances for this weekend?
Chicago when they got shut out. I believe that's what happened. Yeah.
That'd be bad.
I believe that's what it was.
So how are you feeling so far this weekend? You obviously haven't been on track yet.
See you, J-Lo.
See ya.
Goodbye, GarageCam.
You haven't been on track yet, but how excited are you to get out there and figure out where this car is going to turn, where it's going to work, and how you can make passes?
I'm pretty pumped. We'll see what happens here. We got a little different setup in it to start, so from what we typically would run, I think. So we'll see what that's like, and now we got to go back on with kind of an old reliable setup and figure it out. But his road courses are fun. It always takes 2-3 laps to kind of get back in the zone, figure out what corners are like what, and get to that edge, find that edge, and run some decent laps. So we're making 4 or 5 laps here to start and make sure everything's good and go from there.
Awesome. We'll have a good trip out on the road course.
Thank you.
Stay out of the kitty litter.
Yeah, for sure.
Joey Logano, and as we let him go, he's going to climb into the number 22, and that also means that there are a lot of drivers climbing into their cars. Joey Logano slides in. We're getting close to the beginning of the first practice for the Sprint Cup Series. As we make our way down, we still have a few more cars to cover for you guys. Martin Truex Jr. one stall over here. These garages are kind of tight at sometimes, kind of hard to get into. Martin Truex Jr., and here's Casey Kane putting in the earbuds, getting ready to get in his number 5 Farmers Insurance Chevrolet. Casey Kane, actually a former winner here at Sonoma Raceway in 2009, brought the king, Richard Petty, back to victory lane. We continue to make our way down. We arrive at the number 27 of Paul Menard, and here you go. This is the one for Lord Tool, first time, Sprint Cup Series GarageCam. Tony Stewart himself in the number 14 Chevrolet, getting ready to go. Another excellent road course racer. Looking to continue this hot streak that they've been on lately. Got a win at Dover, a couple other top 5 finishes. And Tony Stewart only 2 wins away from reaching that very nice and important 50-win mark in the Sprint Cup Series. Keep moving down. Look who it is. It's last week's winner, Greg Biffle. The driver who brought Ford their 1,000th victory in NASCAR. An incredible number. Absolutely incredible number. Given how much racing there is. And sure enough, here we go. A guy that I know a lot of fans in this chat room wanted to see climbing into the 88 National Guard Chevrolet. The one, the only, Dale Earnhardt Jr. The crowd goes wild. And so did my audio guy, CJ. He got very excited about that. It's Dale Jr. We all love it. Keep going down. We get to the 18, Rowdy Bush. A lot of requests in the chat room for Kyle Busch this weekend. And also here's the number 20 of Matt Kenseth. DRL, you wanted to see the 14 and the 18. Well, there you had it. And here you go. This, my friends, this is Sammy Hagar. I can't drive 55, and I don't think he can either. Sammy Hagar hanging out here in the Sprint Cup Series garage area. Clint Boyer hanging out with him, getting into his car. There's always celebrity sightings in California. It's California. Doesn't matter if you're in LA or Sonoma, whichever works. And here is strapping into the number 99 Ford, Carl Edwards, getting ready to rock here on GarageCam. Looking to pick up a victory on the road courses. And then here you go, fans. Your point leader, the number 48, 5-time winner here in 2010, Jimmy Johnson, driving the number 48 Chevrolet. Andrew Odom, you wanted to know what the stars were on Tony Stewart's car for. That is for NASCAR Salutes, 6-week initiative that leads into Daytona, that celebrates the Americans that have fought and died for our country. We thank them for all of their service, without a doubt. We got about 5 minutes left. These drivers are strapped in. They have intense looks on their faces. And the first guy that's going to get to go out and tackle this 2-mile road course is going to be the number 2, your champion from 2012, Brad Keselowski. That's my best announcer voice. It's not very great, but what the heck, we'll give it a shot. Why not? Tigra, you wanted to see the 29, and we were in a hurry, and we blew straight past them. So we're going to turn back. He's only 4 cars away, and we're going to go down and see that number 29 of Kevin Harvick for you. We don't want to leave fans upset here on GarageCam. That's just not how we work. We want everybody to be happy. So as we make our way back down here through a few cars in the garage, block out the wind a little bit, go past the 15 of Clint Boyer, and here we are. We have arrived at the 29 of Kevin Harvick in the Ream Chevrolet, getting ready to go road course racing. These drivers are going to be shifting multiple times a lap, clutch, brake, gas, turning the steering wheels, hands going all over the place. Organized chaos inside these stock cars. You got to applaud them for their efforts inside there. There's the 15 again, Clint Boyer. Clint, I think, has got to be pretty excited to be here, given he won here last year. I think he just would like a little bit more fuel so that he can do a proper burnout. He hasn't been able to do a burnout in the last year because every time he's won, he's run out of gas before he can do it. According to my producer back in Charlotte, it's unanimous, don't do my announcer voice again. Well, I'm fine with that. I don't take offense. The front of the 48 of Jimmy Johnson fans, they are getting ready to roll. The crews are standing out here. The NASCAR officials are standing out here. It's about time to let these stock car machines roll out onto the racetrack. So we're going to go get us a good vantage point so that you can see these guys come rolling out, your favorite cars and stars of the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series. We're hustling here. We want to get you the best shot possible. It requires a little bit of walking because these guys are going to come screaming out of those garages. As you can see from the angle, they're going to come through that tiny little gate, and they're going to show up here down this hill, and they're going to make the hard right-hand turn right out there to pit road and the Sonoma Raceway. Go ahead and check out a few more shout-outs here. As you can see, here comes the number 2 of Brad Keselowski, your 2012 Sprint Cup Series champion, looking for his first win on a road course in the Sprint Cup Series. Jimmy Johnson, your 5-time Sprint Cup Series champion and a winner on the road course. Carl Edwards, driver the number 99. There goes Clint Boyer in the 15. Tigger, there we go. One more time, the number 29 for you. There goes Matt Kenseth. Kyle Busch. One of the fan favorites, Dale Earnhardt Jr. Last weekend's winner, Greg Biffle. We want to thank you all for joining us on GarageCam today. It's been a blast having you on. Remember to stay with NASCAR.com all weekend long for all your updates and information. Until then, folks, enjoy the road racing and the wine and the cheese.